I feel good. I'm excited. Uh, Last night of boxing was super dynamic. I do like to see what's next for Moses. The performance that he put on was spectacular. It was definitely a main event performance. Now I understand that in boxing, especially because you're in a space with a lot of people that carry themselves as if they know it all. It's not that they're not masters of their craft. It's not that they haven't put the time in, but they're quick to undermine anybody outside of their team due to their competitive spirit. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses about White being older. I'm not going to sit here and act as if Moses didn't put on a great performance that I knew that was possible for him. Uh, he not only knocked him out, but he did it in like such a clean fashion, man. And it was just like a lot of slick boxing, man. So to see him facing somebody such as Joseph Parker, I kind of feel like he would be what Joseph Parker could be if he had them pop on his shots. Super slick, super crafty, playing chess, not necessarily going in there with the intention to bang, but to take at least damage as possible at the heavyweight division and, still, clean his plate. Pause. So yeah, man, I'm excited. Ray Ford beat a tough opponent. Um, when it comes down to that, of course, people are gonna have their biases, or they may feel as though he should have stopped him. I actually had Ray Ford stopping him. That was my prediction. But Nova came in there a little bit more seasoned and just crafty. He definitely listened to his coach a whole lot. Um, and he had a game plan, but at the end of the day, Ray Ford persevered, man. Very tough fighter, and he went through the trials and tribulations very early in his career. So I feel like that's another reason why he can come to another division after taking a loss to a Nick Ball and be on top because he got what it takes. Uh, Raymond Ford is truly a dog, and you know I really thought that due to great shot placement, due to great countering, due to his ability to fight when he need to fight, that he was gonna put Nova away. But I feel like Nova came in there defensively conscious. One thing, fighters get discredited after they get knocked out. The one thing that I like is in some cases it can enhance their sharpness. To where at first when they get back in there they may be a little bit shaky, but then after you give them a little bit of time, they end up being just a little bit more craftier than that person who may not have never felt the canvas before, simply because they might have took a couple shots and they feel like, listen, I got a chin. You know what I mean? It may not be that you don't have a chin. It may be the placement was just a little bit off, or the person didn't give you their all, or they hit you after 10 rounds to where your adrenaline was just like to the max. But Nick Ball, Sam Goodman, man, listen. My only problem with Sam Goodman for that fight is his feet looked like they was too heavy. He was planting his feet and he wasn't necessarily moving accurately. Um, I feel like Sam Goodman actually had what it takes. Uh, I truly feel like he had the sharpness. He wasn't as quick as Nick Ball, but I do believe he had the sharpness. So a couple times the way he caught Nick Ball really, really well, but it just wasn't enough output and it wasn't enough feet work. Like if you're not gonna have the same output as Nick Ball to stand in front of him, is basically giving him the win by points any fucking way. But Nick Ball, it was a dominant performance. And a lot of it I would give credit to. Him just playing target practice while Sam Goodman sit in front of him and try to figure him out. I feel like if Sam Goodman and his team go back and watch the tape, their primarily focus if they get back in the gym would be defeat. Defeat, a little bit of output. And like I said, he caught Nick Ball with some good shots, man. It was a few of those shots where I was like, damn, Nick Ball, may be ready to go. So, hey, man, listen, I'm excited for what's coming to boxing. I did not like the fact though that this fight was behind a paywall. Um, and I get it. They tried to offer you the extra incentive by putting Ray Ford on prelims, which was also a fucking crazy move in my opinion. But yeah, this fight being behind the paywall was ridiculous. But yeah, man, listen, I had to take some time off. I had to get my mind right. Had to go to the lab, get better. Definitely got some shit coming up in the future. I definitely want to sit down and I'll probably get Jesse Hart on live soon. Simply because I want him to kind of give fighters a little bit more game when it comes to just like really establishing themselves as a brand and truly sitting down and he can tell you that these top promoters are actually watching these fighters' content. So when a fighter refuses to put himself out there, he's going to lose. We could talk about Devin Haney performances, but guess what? He's always going to be on primetime TV because at the end of the day, he is a staple fighter. He has brand to where it does not make sense to not have him on TV. And I feel like the business model of boxing will be primarily shifting towards those who put time and years into their social medias. Yeah, you can be nice, but nice, anybody will tell you that's in boxing that's proves. Nice ain't good enough. You get what I'm saying? You basically gotta be nice and be willing to eat shit and like take mad risks. You know what I mean? Like to be able to rank, like you have to pop out and like fight for the damn near pennies on the dollar for you to be able to rank in the WBC, WBA, WBO. You get what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, but I just feel like I feel like boxing is pivoting towards those who are social media more like favorable. You see what Jake Paul did? He basically changed the game. He showed them that it was a different side of fan base and revenue, but it's on social media. It's no longer on radio. It's no longer on TV. Does it still have a niche target audience that are older that tend to subscribe to those type of things for ads and things like that? Of course, but we are now getting in a space to where an athlete should be some type of content creator. You should be showing people what you're doing. And I mean, it helps you with your career early on. To be a showroom boxer, you have to be able to sell tickets. And your income is based on how many tickets you can sell. So with that being said, you might as well work on branding yourself as a professional boxer. Just simply because it makes life easier for you. People want to, put you on cards and help you fight and make sure that they help you climb the rankings if you have a common interest of even making the money. Now, of course, yes, there's people early on, they want the fighters to sign with them and kind of have them in a bind to where if they do take it to the next level, they're always going to be in their pocket. But I mean, you got to determine what's best for you. Sometimes that sacrifice of signing with a promoter right now may make sense business wise because he's willing to give you that $10,000 that you need in order for you to make other investments into your family. Sometimes it may not be a good thing. It really just comes down to understanding the power of your marketability, understanding the power of content, because it's professional boxers that I'm talking to directly, and they're saying they're getting signed from knocking people out, and it's being posted on social media. Shout out to old school boxing. Will never take anything away from it because it's a beautiful thing. But just make sure that you also kind of convince your fighters to get in front of a camera a little bit more. Get used to public speaking. Get used to having fun. And understand that all because you showcase skills online, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's truly your skill set. Any professional fighter know that. There's plenty of people that they're online hitting pads, but that don't mean that you can necessarily become a world champion. So, it's just truly about understanding that as you entertain the people, you can add value. I recently did some shooting with a fighter. And as soon as I did shooting, he said everybody and their mom started popping out and start asking if he got something with boxing coming up. So he was able to sell more tickets. He also dropped some shirts and was able to sell more merch simply because he cared about his marketability. And realistically, it's going to get to a point to where that Mayweather Zero shit, that shit gonna be dead. Tucker Sheik not gonna sit there and shelf somebody who got knocked out that got goddamn 5 million followers. It's just not happening. Especially if their business model is subscription based, it's based on volume. You get what I'm saying? If anything, they're going to pick that person up and dust him the fuck off and make him cater to his 5 million people. Ryan Garcia is showing you that. Yes, he's not the best boxer, and I think it's okay that he has other talents. You get what I'm saying? Because we're in an economy to where just having a plan A, it may not fit everybody build. It takes a different type of special in boxing to be the top of boxing, and you got to have so many different stars aligned. And it's to the point to where you can get to the top, actually beat the person the fuck up, and they still rob you. Then what? You get what I'm saying? Look what they did with Shiraz knocking out Berlanga. Berlanga was highly marketable, and this is not me trying to diminish Berlanga. Berlanga's a fucking animal. You get what I'm saying? In his own right. Very good branding. But, he was marketed to where Top Rank wanted the movie. He was running through people who had full-time jobs and wasn't necessarily, at the level to where they could do boxing full-time. They probably was hitting some of these people up 2 weeks notice. They ain't really had no full camp. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying how the game go. And when he got in there with somebody who a little bit more like a live opponent and aware, and he stood in front of him a little bit too long, shit happens. And it's just all about understanding, who you are and actually putting yourself through a little bit of, I would say, challenge on the way up, even if it's a little bit slower. When you fight in them showrooms, make sure you actually having the luxury to be able to fight some people who can be a threat. Because those trials and tribulations will prepare you for the top a little bit better, versus to where you wait till you get to the top to go through trials and tribulations, and then you fight somebody who basically was, being backdoored all different types of ways, getting put in front of people where he was supposed to lose, but then he finally get in a situation to where, he fighting the people he's supposed to be fighting now. He at the levels getting those checks, and he had a hard career. It's gonna be a little bit more tougher for you. And again, it's boxing. Anything can happen, especially at the higher weight classes. Depending on the type of opponent that you get put in front of. Hey man, how y'all feel about Moses? How y'all feel about Moses and goddamn Joseph Parker? If I can get opinions on that, I feel like that's gonna be a chess match. I still feel like Moses can stop him. And just the speed, the shot placement, being very selective of his shots, and just using that young athleticism, which of course it fades. It does take a little bit less. I mean, it does take a little bit longer for people of higher weight classes to be able to fade, but that shit there. That motherfucker was in there moving like a football player. Super agile, very good feet, very good shot placement. Once he gave him that first shot to the stomach, without me even knowing what the fuck was going to happen, bro, I was like, yeah, it's going to be an early night. And then my whole thing was he just kept on every time he seen a hole. You get what I'm saying? He ain't with a cross block, little shot to the stomach. He throw that 10-ounce right through that motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, he finna go. Then his hands start dropping and start getting to the point to where, listen, this shit hurt. You get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. I wouldn't. I pray Deontay Wilder don't try to come for no check and fight nobody like that. I just want to see him be able to have the luxury to be able to leave with his marbles. I do get, it's the price you pay when you get in the ring, but you know, still, man. Hey, man. October 11th. Jesse Hart, Khalil Cole. That shit is official. Shout out to Khalil Cole for even taking a match like this. This is extremely dangerous for him. I do have Jesse Hart, and the reason why I'm gonna say that is just because uh, more experience, also being like super active. Um, my only factor that I will worry about when it comes to Jesse Hart is will he be able to get in there and do those multiple rounds after moving at a pace of TCL, which is 1 round fights. Do I feel like he know how to get ready for a 12 round fight? Clearly, he has the experience. Or a 10 rounder. He has the experience. Um, but I'm still I just wonder just how would the management be in reference to just the switching pace and being able to kind of like slow yourself down to continue to go those rounds, and this shit could, I ain't gonna lie, this shit could get wild because Jesse Hart been knocking shit out. So and Khalil Cole coming off a win after coming off a loss because he wasn't necessarily locked in as he should have been, for the type of opponent that he was fighting. You know what I mean? He's enjoying life, getting to the point to where he's settling down and things of that nature. And he wasn't necessarily appreciative of doing or having a proper camp. Um, so yeah, uh, but the goal is with anybody that's viewing is to start going live back every single day again. Also gonna kind of just like being able to like settle in and figure out a set day to be able to give you guys a show. Uh, with things like that. Share fighters that I'm actually putting on tickets and things like that, and hopefully, I'll get to get y'all a bag just as well as I'll be getting mine. Most of my predictions in boxing go the way that I need them to go. In some cases, I am wrong. I had Raymond Ford knocking out Nova, and the reason is because I thought Nova was going to try to run him over. Ray know how to fight. Ray know how to hold positioning. You get what I'm saying? Ray know how to place shots very well, and he looked strong when he first moved to this weight, so he's a little bit more dug in. So, you know, I mean, I was wrong with that. Also, I thought Sam Goodman was going to move a little bit better when it came to Nick Ball. His feet looked a little heavy. He was catching Nick Ball with some shots when he did go, but he was being overly selective, and Nick Ball just was letting his fucking hands go. Once Nick Ball got comfortable and peeped that his feet was heavy, Nick Ball was getting that shit done. You get what I'm saying? I thought Sam Goodman was going to give me a little bit more pivots, a little bit more fighting on the outside position. You get what I'm saying? And just primarily trying to win off a jab. I did not expect for him to sit in there and actually kind of like give Nick Ball the range. Um, I would like to see what's next for Nick Ball. I also would like to see him move up and possibly get another match for Ray Ford. Also, I would like to see Ray Ford and O'Shaquie Foster. I got Ray Ford. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Young Bull, I'm a little bit more biased, and the reason why I say that I'm biased is just because I just like his style, and I feel like he got a nice toolkit. You know what I mean? So I like him. Uh, can it be possible he can lose? Yes. Especially at championship levels, anything can happen. But yeah, I would like to see what's next with that. I know they was talking about with that Lamont Roach Gervonta Davis rematch. Shit may not work out. Do y'all believe that Gervonta Tank Davis is avoiding someone such as Lamont Roach for a rematch? Simply because he was not a walk in the park. And he proved that he was a special fighter. Me, was stupid. I did undermine Lamont Roach initially. Um, but he did his fucking thing, bro. And I ain't gonna sit here and act as if he didn't, cause he did. He held it down. He proved he was special. He proved that he didn't have stage fright when it came. What up, bro? He proved that he didn't have stage fright when it came to Gervonta Tank Davis. As Frank Martin clearly had stage fright. Motherfucker fainting, and then you just jumping across the room. Hey man, I just was telling him, bro, I'm back. Definitely gonna be more consistent. Got a lot of special things for y'all. Just basically had to go in the lab, get better to be able to entertain y'all at a higher level, which we definitely will. The goal is to get a lot more behind the scenes boxing. And even if it requires for me to get on a flight to be able to let y'all see shit behind the scenes that y'all don't necessarily get a chance to see, it's nothing to do, man. I'm at the point to where I'm able to be able to consistently service, my people, my community correctly. And as we all grow and develop with one another, I'm gonna figure out ways to be able to contribute to just like the boxing community as a whole. And the goal is to not only make this platform for me or you, but also position it to where we're a little bit more athlete friendly when it comes to yeah. We're gonna figure something out. Yeah, we definitely going up. Hey, but the goal is I want my brand to be a little bit more athlete friendly. It's a lot of talented boxers in Philadelphia who don't even be comfortable and they don't do social media when it comes to posting. And they're good, but they're not necessarily getting the fights that they deserve. And then when it's time to fight, if they do have to sell tickets, they're stressing the idea of it. So I want to be able to help make it easier for them by them putting themselves out there to be able to cater to their fan base. Because, if you look at Philly, somebody like Aaron Peterson is a clear example of what you get when you put yourself out there. Yes, he's still in the developmental stages. I'm not saying he's rich. It's not always about being rich. It's about making it easy for the promoter to sit down and be like, oh, you have this much followers. Oh, this many people watch you. Oh, you actually have something that's more incentive for them to want to pay you. And like I wanna, especially if you're from the city, especially like I want to see you be able to, get to the next level. Shit, I wish all athletes were. It's one of them sports to where when it's war, but when it's done, that shit it's still a brotherhood, and it's just the understanding and respect earned because of the time that you gotta put in for this shit, man. And what's sad is you not only gotta put time for that nowadays and just do that, you also gotta like put yourself out there. So you got a couple challenges that you gotta do, and then you still gotta take care of the family. Right. He definitely created his own wave, bro. So and I feel like that's what it's about. Like you gotta take this shit and you take it by, getting the respect that you strive for. Just working in the gym, yes, it's commendable. Yes, your parents will respect you. But what about these other people that don't know anything about you? You get what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing, to cater to them? And they may love boxing. They may be one of the people that every time you sell tickets, they want to travel and be front row. This shit all about impacting one another and being able, to coexist. It's not, yeah, you got some people, they primarily want to draw attention from beefing. But eventually, after you say the same things over and over and over and over again, and you start conflict and controversy, this shit get draining. Fuck that. I rather build real relationships with real people who are trying to, climb up. Do your fucking thing, man. If I could put a camera in front of somebody and, rather it be a pro, an amateur, I could put my camera in front of you and it make your day and you see professional pictures of yourself, professional videos, and it inspire you to keep on going, man, do your fucking thing, man. You know, I ain't. That's what it's all about, man. Just impacting. And you know, the goal this time around is to actually just have it to where again the this cater to the athletes a little bit more, and you know we're focused on sitting down and being a gateway to allow athletes to be able to express their skills, not just interviews, but also sit you down and be able to kind of like give you game. Like I want that. Like I want that. You know, even if you're not necessarily into it, you may know somebody. You then go take that game and give it to them. Now, what they do with it is what they do with it. But to actually have information to be able to pass on to somebody, that's good for you as a person. Because a motherfucker can at least say, like, yo, you know, he pulled me to the side and, you know, he broke something down to me and I didn't look at it like that and it was helpful. Hey, but, hey, Moses and Usyk, do you see that being possible? And if so, what do you believe the outcome would be? I know right now Moses ain't ready for no Usyk, but and what y'all think about Joseph Parker? Joseph Parker Usyk. I mean, Joseph Parker and Moses. What y'all think, man? Y'all gotta let me know something. I'm only on here for a few more minutes, and again, I'm definitely gonna touch base with y'all tomorrow. Talk about future fights. You know, Boots got a fight coming up. I'm excited about that. I don't believe it's gonna happen. Usyk on his way out. Yeah, I figured that might be happening. They're gonna push Moses as the next guy when he's done. Yeah, that makes sense. But you know how this shit go, bro. I don't. They might. They might want to bite and take the risk. Does it make sense for Moses to do it? No. Um. But hey, we getting Canelo Crawford, and yeah, it makes sense in some cases, but it's still a circus fight. So you know, people see these numbers and see what could possibly be generated, and then Turkey Al Sheik want to make a bag like that again, because then you know they're gonna make a bag from this shit. Turkey Al Sheik want to make a bag like that again. You get what I'm saying? He might try to force some hands to fight too soon, too early. You get what I'm saying? And things of them natures. I'm gonna lie, bro. I do believe the one thing ETC boxing that I can say that I truly believe, bro, is that Mayweather shit with the you gotta take a O or you getting shelved. I don't think they're gonna allow that shit no more, bro. Because at the end of the day, money control media, right? So yeah, old media got their own money. They're gonna share what they share, but they can't necessarily control the output on social media. So with that being said, if a motherfucker know he got vested interest in you and the people like the way you perform majority of the time, I feel like they're gonna try to rebirth the fuck out you, bro. However they gotta do it. I just feel like, especially with subscriptions, I feel like it's gonna be more volumes of fights put out, but then the price of subscriptions is just gonna go up. You already see this goddamn fight yesterday was behind a paywall, which was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. That didn't deserve no paywall, bro. But that's them getting you conditioned for them to be squeezing a little bit more money out you. So when something major come and the paywall is even greater, you ain't got no choice but to pay the shit. But I mean, you know, that shit all subjective. We're gonna feel how we feel. I do appreciate you tapping in with me. Um, and you know, to anybody who just came in, I'm getting off, but I'm gonna put you guys back on the schedule. And we're gonna be going live daily. You know, just discussing boxing news, boxing predictions, boxing tickets. You get what I'm saying? Make something happen. You get what I'm saying? Everybody like a little money, and I understand it's not for everybody. You know, of course, this is for everybody that's over 18. Do it at your own risk. And I'm just gonna make my suggestions. But yeah, I mean, we back in here all the way. This is not me coming in and fading back out. There's no more fading back out. I have a hard commitment of being able to deliver to my community, my people. I appreciate everybody that tapped in, and I want y'all to have a great day.